Back on June 24th, 2025, StarWars.com released a new map of the Star Wars galaxy based on a promotional poster. This map is a comprehensive overview of over 500 planets, regions and major trade routes in the galaxy. It is a continuously updating one at that, consolidating decades of storytelling into a single user-friendly galactic blueprint for fans. And so using this map, we will find out where the deadly and gigantic creatures of this galaxy far, far away are located. Well, in relation to the most important planet here, which is Coruscant. Let's begin. So going off on this monster hunt, heading southeast of the galactic map from Coruscant, we encounter first the Rocana, which are these enormous aquatic monsters native to the oceans of Castellon. Recognizable by their 6 tentacles, green-blue patterned skin and hourglass-shaped pupils, they could grow large enough to threaten whole structures like the Colossus platform, while as juveniles they can be handled by humans. Their appearance in Star Wars Resistance highlighted their status as one of the galaxy's dangerous deep-sea species. Number 2. The Exogoth. So further south we meet the space slugs or the Exogoths, which are massive worm-like creatures dwelling in the Hoth asteroid belt, normally around 10 meters long. They could grow unchecked to lengths of up to nearly a kilometer, 900 meters, capable of swallowing starships whole and harboring entire ecosystems inside their bodies. Feeding on minerals, stellar radiation and debris, they live for unimaginably long periods of time, with some like Psi-O being over 1 billion years old but still young. In the same star system, we also find the Wampa, which is a semi-sentient predator inhabiting the planet of the same name, which is a cold, desolated planet. Now going back north and a little bit west, we find ourselves in Jeddah, where we meet a Skryton, sometimes referred to as desert crabs. They are very ruthless creatures and unpredictable. Skrytons have a left claw that is much bigger than the right claw, and they use their left claw as a weapon. Yeah, the claws could easily crush objects and prey, including humans. Their skin is also quite resistant to heavy attacks, including lightsaber strikes. They were one of the deadliest creatures on Jeddah as they stalked their prey from underground, then popped up at the right moment to attack and kill. Then a bit east and a little bit south of Coruscant, we meet the Gorok, which is a gargantuan bipedal predator displayed as a living spectacle in the Tarko Se arena on Cato Neimoidia. With thus thick forearms, a grey leathery skin and 2 hearts, it was powerful enough to devour rancors and overwhelm arena restraints. Baron Tarko unleashed it against Starkiller's clone, who was a powerful force user, but the beast killed him in his frenzy. Despite its huge size and brute strength, it was ultimately slain by the original Starkiller. So now, a long way south of the Gorok we find the Zillo beast, a colossal reptilian species native to Malastari, thought long extinct until one was unearthed during the Clone Wars. Its hide was virtually indestructible, sparking Palpatine's interest in weaponizing it for the Republic. After rampaging through Coruscant and being killed with toxins, Palpatine ordered cloning attempts on it. Though early efforts failed, Imperial scientists under Dr. Royce Hemlock later succeeded using Kaminoan technology to create clone specimens which are kept at Tantus base. Heading back north, we encounter the Rancors, who are massive predators native to the planet called Dathomir. Those specimens were also found on other worlds like Felucia. Standing several meters tall with powerful claws and teeth, they were often captured and used as gladiatorial beasts or pets by crime lords, most famously by Jabba the Hutt on Tatooine. Despite their ferocity, Rancors could be trained and even bonded with the riders of Dathomir, where they held cultural significance to the Night Sisters. So now, a bit south from Dathomir, we reach the home of the Mandalorians, and here we find the Mythosaurs, titanic reptilian beasts that once roamed Mandalore in ancient times, so large that their skeletons dwarfed cities, and they were hunted to extinction by the Mandalorians, who took their skull as a symbol of their culture and warrior heritage. Their legendary size and ferocity cemented them as icons in Mandalorian lore, with their skull emblem becoming synonymous with the Mandalorian creed. Then traveling further south, we come to a world that houses the Vexes, massive snake-like creatures native to the desert world of Pasaana. Their burrowing made them dangerous subterranean predators, though they were not inherently hostile unless provoked. Covered in tough scales, Vexes were capable of sudden and powerful strikes from beneath the sands. A notable encounter with a wounded Vexes revealed their vulnerability to suffering and the potential for compassion even with such enormous predators. Then on the very next sector we find the Acklays, vicious crustacean reptilian-like predators from the watery world of Vendaxa. They were six-legged with razor-sharp claws capable of slicing through metal, making them deadly in both the native oceans and on land. One was famously used in the Geonosian execution arena during the Clone Wars, where its agility and sheer power posed a deadly threat to Jedi and beasts alike, including Padme, Obi-Wan, and Anakin Skywalker. Now even further south we get to the Nebrae mantas, which were large manta ray-like creatures that thrive in space, especially in the atmosphere and void around the planets like Rishi. With long wings and luminous bodies, they could travel in massive flocks through the void, feeding on stellar energies and gases. Their presence in schools created breathtaking natural spectacles, though they were generally harmless and peaceful space dwellers. On the same sector we find the Sando aqua monster, the largest and most fearsome predator of Naboo's oceans. Reaching lengths of over 200 meters, it was a quadrupedal aquatic reptile which kinda looks like a cat, with immense jaws strong enough to crush other sea leviathans like the OP-sea killer or even the cola clawfish. These are apex predators of their ecosystem. Sando aqua monsters were solitary hunters, rarely seen but deeply feared even by Naboo's Gungan population. Heading back north, we come to the Iblis Maw, a gargantuan space-dwelling superorganism living in the Braga system, the planet. While resembling a Sarlacc from outside, the Iblis Maw consists of numerous mouths connected by a vast digestive system located hundreds of meters below the surface of the planet. Bracca's Scrapper Guild feeds the Iblis Maw with metal from the wreckage of scrap starships, causing its mouths to grow in immense sizes. The southernmost creature here are the Rathas, and by southernmost I mean in relation to the galactic south. These are terrifying tentacle carnivores originated from the planet called Tuon Keri, which is not seen in a map but it's known to be somewhere near Octero. Known for their ball-like bodies lined with rows of teeth and numerous tendrils, they were highly aggressive pack hunters which are capable of tearing through humanoid prey and even ships. Infamously, Han Solo attempted to transport several Rathas aboard the Eravana, leading to chaos when they escaped containment. Around 30,000 light-years east of Coruscant, we find the Arakods, large dangerous worm-like space-borne creatures seen in the new trilogy, and members of this species are massive brown-skinned vermiform space-borne creatures, large enough to possibly swallow a light freighter ship's whole. These creatures bear no eyes, with their heads being dominated by large triangular mouths which are lined with small sharp teeth. Then the furthest north we'll ever get here is Felucia. Here lays the ancient abyss, a massive ancient Sarlacc, larger and older than most of its kind. It has adapted to the lush fungal environment of the planet. Its enormous maw and tentacles ensnares prey that venture too close, and it spans 4 kilometers wide or even more than that, slowly digesting the food that falls into it over centuries and millennia, in the traditional Sarlacc fashion. Revered and feared as part of Felucia's strange ecosystem, the ancient abyss stood out as one of the deadliest hazards in the world's surface. Then going south on the other side of the galaxy, we reach a planet called Tatooine. Here we find the Krayt Dragons, colossal reptilian predators with 10 feet and a serpentine body. Here we also meet the most famous Sarlacc of them all. But anyways, going back to the Krayt Dragons, there are 2 species that exist here, the smaller canyon Krayt and the massive greater Krayt Dragon, which could grow over 100 meters long, and they prey on Sarlaccs. These are apex predators of the Dune Sea. They were feared for their ferocity and prized by Tusken Raiders for their pearls, and valuable items form in their gizzards, which they hunt, and lose a lot of hunters while doing so. Now, between 35 and 40,000 light years from Coruscant to the east, here we find star dragons, also known as Duinoguin, who are ancient, highly intelligent spacefaring species of dragon-like beings. They could grow to massive sizes, capable of living in space and even communicating with other species. Some lived solitary lives, while others interacted with galactic civilizations. One of their philosopher-cosmologists, who is called Boris Mato, was a famous star dragon who was able to forge a peace treaty between Duinoguin and the Republic after meeting with the Supreme Chancellor. Further east we find the Krykna, large spider-like arachnids native to the remote world of Adelon. Covered in tough exoskeletons and extremely aggressive, they can resist blast of fire and were difficult to kill. These are sensitive to the Force, and they avoided areas inhabited by those with a strong connection to it, which was why they never really overran the base of the Ghost Crew when Kanan Jarrus strengthened his bond with the Force. South of Adelon, we come to the Acades Maelstrom in Kessel. Here we find the Summa Verminot, a colossal tentacled creature native to the Maw, which is a dangerous region there, with a cluster of black holes close to each other. The Summa Verminot, with its immense size, dozens of writhing tentacles, and psychic ability to project fear, made it a nightmare predator, alert in the depths of space, ensnaring ships that strayed too close, with its true size dwarfing even large capital vessels, even larger than most Imperial Star Destroyers. Then lastly we come to the easternmost point here in the video, in this map, and here we come to the Purrgil Ultras, the largest of the Purrgil, which are massive whale-like space dwellers capable of traveling through hyperspace. These ones here measure over 200 meters long, or even multiple hundreds of meters. Unlike the smaller Purrgils, which are only around 30 meters, these were truly colossal, large enough to shadow or overshadow Imperial Star Destroyers. Their natural ability to navigate hyperspace made them living inspirations for the galaxy's hyperdrive technology, and their migration swarms were both wondrous and dangerous to witness. Anyway, with that we end this topic on where the different Star Wars monsters are located in the galaxy far, far away, in a map that was given to us by StarWars.com. Now, if you like this video, then watch this other one too, and do hit that like button for support, and that hype option for hyping up the video to other viewers. Well, for the ones who are looking at this video from their phones, that's the only way you'll see the hype button. Anyway, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, fam.